and welcome to the BS Podcast. We talk the absurd, the ridiculous, and of course, the bullshit. Hi, I'm Dave, and joining me is my fellow connoisseur in bullshit, Mr. Zach. Zach, how are you today, buddy?
Dave, I'm good as always, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay. I realized this, since COVID started, about every 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like I'm getting sick. And it never quite get sick, but just kind of feeling generally unwell. And I've gotten that over the last couple of days. Have you experienced that?
Yes, I have actually. Like on Monday, so I was away this past weekend, and the Monday before, so about a week and a half ago, I woke up in the morning with like nasal drip, sore throat, just feeling like all congested and like shit. And I was like, I need to go like try to nip this in the butt and make sure it's not corona. So like I rushed to the store and got some like Zicam, which if you haven't used Zicam, it's like the best thing. So I got a bunch of that and like a bunch of like vitamin C, packets that you put in your drink and shit.
So you feeling better?
I was feeling better. I actually woke up this morning feeling like shit, but I think it's just because the weather is starting to get colder. And it was raining over the weekend when I was out, and we were, out on the boat and stuff like that. So I think it was just being out in the rain and the cold for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Zach. That is one of the health myths that we covered on our YouTube page. Going outside without a jacket, being in the rain. That's not how you get sick, Zach. We're talking about viruses and bacteria, not water and cold. So I don't want you to be spreading misinformation here for all the viewers. Yeah,
I know. I'm going to be one of the assholes out there doing it. Well, that's my story, and so sticking to it. I'm also going to tell my kids after they eat they can't get in the swimming pool just because I don't feel like watching them.
Yeah, because I want to eat my lunch in peace, and I don't have to look after you.
Yeah, exactly. You just ate. You got at least an hour.
Oh man,
I'm going to increase it to 2 hours when I have a kid.
2 hour waiting period. Yeah. Myths are BS actually, and that's what we do here. So you mentioned the weather's cooling. That's right. I forget you're in Maryland. Here I am.
It's cooling off. We're like in what I call like fool's fall, where like it's usually this time of year, and usually it's when there's a hurricane or a tropical storm like coming up the coast, because we're getting into hurricane season up in the Atlantic, and even if like a hurricane is offshore where we don't get a lot of rain or wind, it still always seems to bring this like kind of cold front with it.
Yeah.
And like over the weekend, granted, I was in Ocean City, which is near the water, so it's usually a little cooler there, but it was cloudy, rainy, and like high 60s all weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is like a breath of fall, and like, pumpkin spice lattes came out today. I saw someone on my Facebook timeline saying like, it's the first day of pumpkin spice. I got mine, and it's August now, so all the pumpkin beers are coming out. So it's like, it's like this breath of fall in Maryland, but like in a week, it's going to be like up in the 90s again, probably. So that's what always happens. It's like, it's fall for a week. Everyone busts out their fall clothes and gets excited. And then like that, we're just kidding. We got another 2 months of summer, guys. So,
well, it's going to be Halloween before you know it. And then, I might as well put up the Christmas tree next week, because we're going to be there, but not quite. You said 60 to 65 degree weather, mid 60s. I've forgotten here in the Tampa area. I've forgotten what 60
Oh man, it's lovely.
I don't think I've gotten it since, February, March. So we're getting through summer. The things are moving along here. And I've got this. So you have, just to go back a bit, so you get the same thing I've been getting. So every few weeks you start kind of feeling like crap, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
But it never turns into anything, or does it?
No, never does.
So this must be like, I'm going to call this like a COVID side effect or something. There's just something, if you're not getting COVID, but you're getting something.
Maybe we both have it. We're just not getting the full blast of it, like some people are saying.
Yeah, and I do wonder if our immune systems aren't quite what they should be with the way how we've changed all our habits and everything like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would think so, right? I mean, people aren't. I don't know. Maybe you're just more susceptible to things because you're normal. People you go through your life with people coughing and sneezing on you on a daily basis.
Yeah, and now that we're covered up to everything, now we're going to have the worst fucking cold and flu season that we've ever had because we haven't been exposed to anything this year.
I know, right? That's I think you're right.
We're not even going to be exposed in things in our own household, as we'll talk about in a few minutes.
That's right. That's very apropos. We've got the BS-ometer here. We're counting down the top 5 bullshittiest stories of the week. We've got face mask, dogs, Jesus potato, gyms, and sex dolls. So a really very diverse.
Yeah, very diverse.
And that here at Informed American, that we are diversity is one of our principles. Well, at least in our stories.
Yeah.
Do you want to get? Are you ready? Did you have any more hyperlocal BS or personal BS that you want to hit on before we get to these stories, or do you want to just dive right in?
Nah, man, let's dive in.
Okay. We got a story here from informedamerican.com. Zach, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to get so mad about this. Here we go. Informedamerican.com. Wisconsin requires state employees to wear masks, even on video conference calls. Story here. In an email on the last day of July, Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, Preston Cole reminded employees that the governor's mask order was going into effect the next day, and went on to instruct all employees that everyone must wear a mask at the DNR facility, but then went further. The quote here, also wear your masks even if you're home to participate in virtual meetings that involves being seen, such as on Zoom or another video conferencing platform by non-DNR staff. Set the safety example which shows you, as DNR public service employees, care about the safety and health of others. I mean,
safety example, idiot example.
This is, and as there was the headline on Zero Hedge a couple of days ago was exactly that, peak idiocy. There's a picture here, which we'll throw up, showing. I mean, people actually are wearing masks on their Zoom meetings. This is very, very stupid, Zach.
I think I would just turn off my camera and just blame it on tech issues at that point.
Yeah,
right? Sorry, I don't know why my video won't turn on. Sorry about that.
Oh my goodness! And then a spokesman here told the Kansas City Star, quote, by wearing a mask while video conferencing with the general public, we visually remind folks that masking is an important part of navigating the business of natural resources during this tumultuous time. And we if not, it could be misinterpreted that we're not following the governor's directive. So they want to be putting the example out there to the public. There's no, I mean, just to be clear, right? There's no medical benefit to.
No, and I think that's where the bullshit is. So when you really think about this article, you think like, do these idiots really think that like you being at home by yourself and wearing a mask is going to stop you from getting COVID? And there was a quote in the Zero Hedge article that said, "We asked staff to wear masks when on externally facing calls, so that taken out of context, a screenshot of a staff person or high-ranking department official is not properly attributed, could be misinterpreted to suggest that state employees are not properly following the governor's directive." So basically, like, we live in this culture where people are so worried about being blasted on the internet that they do stupid shit like this just so they're not the butt end of like a Facebook movement. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. By the way, I was attempting to read that last quote and completely butchered it. So thank you for highlighting it.
I butchered it too. It's not written very well. Whoever said this quote, I was trying to read it word for word so I don't misquote someone, but it was
more bullshit on top of bullshit. And so we've got this. Yeah. So people are so afraid of like shame culture or whatever, that now you have to wear the mask even on the Zoom call, which is very, very, very stupid. I mean, we based on all the medical evidence we have, the virus cannot transmit over the internet.
Yeah. So like you got like the director of the DNR or some shit sitting in his home by himself wearing a mask just because he's scared of someone taking a screenshot and putting on a Facebook and like, your government's telling you to wear a mask, but here's the director not wearing one. Like, he's in his home. Like, come on, man.
So dumb. And we saw this a little bit with Fauci, with him not wearing a mask at the baseball game, although that was a slightly different scenario. But he's just sitting there with his wife. I mean, come on. Now this is completely different. This is in the privacy of your own home. Now, this sort of continues here because there's a bit of a companion piece here, also from Informed American, what's going on in Illinois. So, I mean, this one isn't quite as bad, but it just shows you where we're going with face masks. Is Illinois governor says you must wear a mask even when outside, which I think is stupid, just simply being outside. Look, from the beginning, I have been for and still am for face masks, but you have to be reasonable about this. You know, in restaurants, stores, fine. But in your own home on a Zoom call, that's stupid. Out there in public, when you're out there in the streets or in a park or God knows what, now you got to wear a mask when you're maybe not even near anybody. What do you think of it? What do you think of everything? It seems like things are getting worse with the masks.
They are getting worse, and I think they're at a point where you need to just, especially indoors, it makes sense. You know, outside. You know, there's situations where you need to. How did they enforce that? Who the hell knows? But there was this one comment from that I'm looking at from one of our readers on informedamerican.com.
Yeah.
About the governor's order for the DNR employees to wear their mask inside. This comment comes from Joanna Gleba on informedamerican.com. She says, "Such an ass. That is like a man sitting alone in his living room wearing a condom." Great comment. I just wanted to share that from Joanna. Thank you, Joanna. These kind of gems is what we like to see on Informed America.
Yes, well done.
But anyway, about wearing masks outside, like it's one of those things where I get the point, but how can you enforce that on a busy street? Because obviously you don't need it everywhere. You know what I mean? If I'm in a park and there's no one around me for 10 feet, I'm not going to wear my mask. If I'm on a public street and I'm packed in like sardines, I'm probably going to wear my mask just because I would feel more comfortable wearing a mask.
Right.
I don't know how you're going to enforce that unless you enforce it everywhere. So I don't think you can enforce it everywhere.
Yeah, like say you're in line for something outside, right? At I'll call it just say a taco stand or whatever, and you're kind of packed with a bunch of people. Maybe because since you're carrying your mask with you, you might throw it on if you're in really close quarters. But if you're just walking down the street, if you're in a park, for God's sake, if you're at the beach, for Christ Almighty, you gotta put on a mask. I mean, this has become like the cult of the mask.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, people are either
we go check a mask.
People are either it's like a love-hate thing. People are either going to be adamantly you have to wear a mask everywhere you go in meetings in your own home now apparently, or you know it's a First Amendment violation. You shouldn't have to wear a mask anywhere, even inside. Well, I think it's what it's going to come down to is people just need to be smart and wear the mask. And if you don't want to wear a mask and there's people around you not wearing them, then you need to leave the situation. Right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, my wife over the weekend, there was this big event at my church and they were following all the legal guidelines as far as, you know, how many people are allowed in the building, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone inside was wearing a mask. Well, like at the end of the event, they had a bunch of food trucks in the parking lot. So everyone from inside went outside. So everyone took off their masks, except for my wife, because everyone was like still packed into this area outside. See, you know what I mean? Yeah. So even though everyone's outside and people are taking off their face masks, you know, it's still, people are still going to catch it if someone's there, has it, and they're breathing all over everyone, right? You're in close distance. So at that point, you know, my wife actually left because she was like, I'm just not comfortable being this close to other people, right? She just took it upon her own self and her own responsibility to say, I'm not comfortable, I'm going to leave. You know, you didn't turn into this giant political argument about masks versus no masks.
Wait, she didn't get out her phone and live stream on
and
Facebook
start calling people out. No, the cops did show up. Someone did call the cops on the event, but I don't think it was anyone. It was probably someone driving past and saw the people in the parking lot and said, "Hey, calling the cops on these people."
That's fun. Now, did you guys do the Trump thing and claim it was a peaceful protest? Because he's been doing that for all of his rallies whenever the press gets on him. So he just says it's a protest.
Yeah.
Because that does seem to be the get out of jail free card. Quite
100%.
Actually.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a face mask here, and I'm going to set it. I'm going to set it up as a shrine right here. So now I'm joining the cult of the face mask. So I'm going to pray to that thing when we're done. Okay.
All right. Perfect. Yeah.
It has magical power. Not only will it save your life, but it will save humanity. So
apparently,
it's I'm definitely going to bow down and pray to it later. So I'm convinced now. I didn't expect this conversation to go where it went. Are you ready? Are you ready to move on from this one, or you got more?
That's all I got. I'm ready to.
Now, did you pre-score?
I pre-scored everything.
You did.
Pre-scored everything today.
So I can't accuse you of playing around with.
I did my homework. I'll go first every time. I don't care.
Well, then I'll just do a Zach to you. So don't worry. All right. So what do you got?
8.
An 8. Yeah, this is high level. This is absolute high level. I'm going to tie you here. I'll go 8, and so we got 16. So that's an early. Well, obviously it's a front runner now, but this one's gonna be high. I mean, this is a lot of BS. Absolutely stupid with the face masks. And I don't know if we touched on it or not. Just final words for me is it makes the people who don't like the mask, who don't like the mandates, this kind of thing just only seems to confirm their points of view that people who are into this are nuts and don't seem to be doing anything based on anything that's reasonable. What do you think?
Yeah,
what do you
common sense. It's common sense. If you're in a giant group of people, wear the fucking mask. If not, then don't wear the mask. It's common sense.
I don't know why you and I aren't running things in this country. We
should run the BS. We'll start the BS party. BS political party. Everything is bullshit.
That's a great idea, and
everything is fake.
We could run on the ticket, and we'll start our own political party. We'll get on the ballot. We'll tour around the country.
Yeah. Well, when I told you, when I was filling out my request for a mail-in ballot, like, yes, I'm doing a mail-in ballot, but it's because I'm not going to be home on voting day. So that's why I requested my mail-in ballot or absentee ballot. But there was a part where I had to pick my political affiliation, and there was so many parties on there that I had not even ever heard of. Like the Bread and Roses party, for instance, was one of them. Like, what the hell is that?
What is it? Do you know?
No, I don't. Apparently, it was started by some philosophy professor at the University of Maryland. Started his own political party so he could run for president. And
that's smart.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell you about their views because I was just like, this looks like bullshit.
So I'm currently an independent. So whatever. I've changed I've changed a little bit here and there, but I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it matters if you want to vote for. It really only matters if you're going to vote for that party's primary. Well, depending on the laws in your state.
I changed. Yeah. So that's how it is in Maryland too. And I actually changed my political affiliation almost every election so that I can vote in the primary.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I'm a registered Democrat right now just because I wanted to vote in the, Maryland.
Vote for because the Trump.
Yeah. I want
the Republican primary. There was none. Well, there was, but
yeah.
Was it not really? So we'll explore our BS party. Let's make a big note of that, and we'll keep you all informed as more develops. And if you are interested in parties beyond just Democrats and Republicans, I've interviewed two candidates so far who are running for president: Howie Hawkins of the Green Party and Don Blankenship of the Constitution Party. You can find both of those interviews here on our YouTube page, and we'll see maybe about Jo Jorgensen of the Libertarian Party. She's kind of giving us the cold shoulder, though, isn't she?
She is. I filled out her media request. Never heard anything. I emailed someone on their team directly, and they said, "Oh, fill out a media request. We would love to do this. We'll get back to you." Never. So I filled out another media request. Never heard anything. Messaged her campaign on Facebook. Still haven't heard anything. So if you're listening to us, Joe, we would love to sit down and talk to you. So we will not ask you about your rabies.
Yeah,
I mean, we probably would ask her, but you
gotta ask about it. Well, she was apparently. I saw on her Twitter feed she was apparently bitten by a bat, so she may just be under the weather. So.
I really hope it was like on The Office when Meredith got bit. I really hope someone on her campaign just went over her head with a trash bag with the bat. But who knows?
I think we have to put that clip in, Zach. I think we'll be okay with copyright for just. I think this is fair use commentary. Anybody hasn't seen this, yeah. So this is an actual clip of Joe Jorgensen's batting counter. Well, I hope she's okay. And Joe, I'd love to talk to you. All right, let's get to story number 2, Zach. BS item number 2. Kim Jong-Un orders pet dogs to be confiscated in North Korean capital. Oh, man. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un ordered pet dogs to be confiscated in the capital, saying that the pooches represent Western decadence, but their owners fear Fido is really headed for someone's dinner table. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. Story continues here. Kim issued the directive in July to round up the pets, claiming they were part of a tainted trend by bourgeois ideology. Said, according to a South Korean newspaper, ordinary people raise pigs and livestock on their porches, but high-ranking officials and the wealthy own pet dogs, which stoked some resentment among the lower classes, the source said. Authorities have identified households with pet dogs and are forcing them to give them up or forcefully confiscating them and putting them down. Zach, come on, man. Just leave the dogs, leave the poor pooches alone.
Let them be. Let them be. So you sent me this article, I think yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, and that's the first thing I thought about was that is a bullshit excuse. All the dogs are bougie, so we're going to round them all up and get rid of them. That's a bullshit excuse. And I think today, when I was looking more into it, there's more articles coming out about it. Apparently, there's a food shortage in Korea, because like all of their rice fields or something got flooded and got ruined. So they're like experiencing some crazy like food shortage. So that shit's a delicacy over there, man. They love dog meat. Like, and it's apparently like a big dish in the summertime. Like they like make this like dog soup or some shit. Like they know exactly what they're doing.
So this is another one of those stories with multiple layers of BS. And now, of course, in North Korea, I think they're always in some sort of a food shortage or a famine because the way they run their state and the way they run their economy, it's not very good. And also, when people who escape North Korea make it down to South Korea, they notice that the people are. Like, so North Koreans and South Koreans are essentially genetically the same, but North Koreans are shorter. They have much worse health outcomes because they're literally malnourished. Much of the population is. So they like dogs. They like eating dogs, and then you have sort of the upper classes taking those what could be food. I guess. I mean, you shouldn't eat dogs. I'll just say that, but yeah. You have people starving potentially, the lower classes, and then the rich people are walking around with a little Shih Tzu with a bow in its hair when someone could be eating it.
Yeah,
it's so weird to think of it that way, right?
It is.
I think because I was thinking like it'd be like taking a cow and making in a famine making a cow, you're naming it Bessie, and I don't know, turning it into your pet.
It's I think like. People are going to say like, oh, well, they're starving, like they should eat the dog. Like, well, maybe if they like opened up their borders a little bit and like made trade like okay between countries, maybe they wouldn't have this problem and they would actually be able to get access to food.
Yeah,
right.
It's real simple. Give up your nukes, and then the sanctions will be gone. You could run a normal, and I mean that's basically it. We're in a sense we're sort of the world policies are sort of starving North Korea because they won't give up their nukes and they sell their nuke technology to other countries. I mean, this is obviously more complicated than we're gonna solve here, but
we're getting involved in investigative journalism here.
Maybe one of these days I'll do a deep dive into North Korea.
We'll be like the movie The Interview. We'll be popping over there. The BS podcast interviews Kim Jong.
I do not work for the CIA, I promise.
Yeah.
But there's another layer of BS on this, Zach, which is that the regime is so crazy and stupid that its own people, not even the wealthy, even know what the rules are. They can be changed on a whim. It'd be one thing if just dogs as pets were just simply never allowed, forever, and then people banned items or whatever. They some people keep a couple as pets or something, but now Kim Jong-Un changed his mind, so now you can't have a dog anymore. I mean, even if how crappy is that? How BS is that you don't even have any established laws or rules?
Yeah, you can change it on a whim. That's major bullshit, right? They could change your entire way of life or your entire family in an instant, and like you can't say shit about it. Like that sucks.
Yeah, it does. And how can you can't have a normal society like that? No. There is an interesting there's back to this this newspaper from the South Korean newspaper. It says there is some hope. Not all of them, Zach, will be on the dinner table. Apparently, some may end up in the state-run zoo, but some of them will end up being eaten.
That sounds like a boring-ass zoo, though. Like, just go there to look at a bunch of dogs. Like, you can see that at the park. Well, I mean, I guess in North Korea, you can't see it at the park anymore. So, but still.
Yeah, what's so great about a dog in a zoo? it's a great point. Because if they are food, then you don't put livestock in the zoo. You don't have like a cow exhibit. I don't think that would be boring as well. Yeah.
The Baltimore Zoo has a section of like barn animals. Like they got pigs and cows and like lamb and stuff that you can go pet.
Well, what is that for a?
But that's like the kitty. That's like the kitty section of the zoo, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's like where the petting zoo is, and it's like, oh, hey, look at that pig. That's about it.
Okay. Goats. I guess goats. So goats qualify, but that's more for petting and strange little animals. Goats.
I know. Have you ever ate goat?
I have.
It's not bad. I like it.
No, I like.
You don't like it?
I like lamb. I like it all.
Well, yeah. I like lamb. I think there was like one time when like, have you ever been to like an Indian food restaurant? Like a lunchtime, you usually do a buffet at lunchtime.
Okay, I've never been. I've been to an Indian restaurant once and wasn't crazy about it, but I feel like I need to try, maybe find a better one. Yeah, tell me all about it.
So like, I love Indian food, and like, there's like a good Indian food restaurant right next to our offices in Baltimore, and during lunchtime, if you want to go for lunch, usually most Indian restaurants do a buffet during lunchtime.
Okay.
So you don't just order an entree and go, you sit down, you have a buffet. And like, because it's usually all you can eat, sometimes they usually don't have lamb. And I really wanted lamb, and all they have is goats. I'm like, well, I'll just try it and see what it's like. I loved it, man. It was good.
That's decent. Yeah. Absolutely. It's got a little more flavor, but there's nothing wrong with that.
It's all about the sauce, man. They put it in.
What's your favorite sauce?
I don't know. Vindaloo, or I think I usually get like lamb vindaloo. Tikka masala is usually like the Americanized,
Okay.
Like that's what all the like.
My wife made some.
I feel like every white person I talk to, and you're like, do you like any of you? They're like, oh, I love chicken tikka masala. That's like, it's like the orange chicken of like Indian food. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Or
that's like a
general. It's like the General Toes, I guess. Toes or whatever. General Toes.
General Toe. Yeah. Why do they gotta spell it like that? I don't. I'll have to get some Indian food, and maybe I'll try the goat with the sauce.
Yeah.
All right. So North Korea sucks. I'm ready to give a rating here.
All right.
Because we're both actually behind me. Oh wow, I'm terrible with but right over my. Right over that, right there, just above my finger, is a picture of my beautiful dog. I know you've got her name is Arya, and you've got Mr. Watson, right?
Yeah, Mr. Watson. He's a dick.
Well, he's letting you do your show in peace, though. So that's
he is. Yeah, he usually keeps quiet. He usually goes down and bothers my wife.
There you go. I'm going. I'm going 7 on this score. What do you got? Well, you already had it down, right?
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to tie.
Oh, no.
Because I was going to go 9, and I don't want to tie the first one.
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to think of which one's going to be more BS here. You know what? I'll go 8.
8, okay. Yeah. So my rationale here is it is high level. I think I need a new marker soon. It is high level BS, but it's another country, and they do. I guess there's worse stuff going on in North Korea than what they do to dogs.
Yeah, I think there's this like weird humanity in Americans where like we feel so bad for dogs.
Yeah.
But we don't show the same kind of like humanity for like humans. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? You see the people online, like remember when all the Syrian refugee stuff was going on where There was those pictures coming up of like children that had like drowned, and like why, people were going around saying like, why can't you let these Syrian children or whatever into the United States? Half of America like wouldn't bat an eye at it. They were like, whatever. But then if you see a starving dog on the street, it's like, oh my God, we got to do whatever we can to help this starving dog.
That's such a great point. We care much more about why aren't we outraged about the people in North Korea, Zach? We're more outraged.
We're there's people in North Korea that are malnourished and starving to death, and we're worried about them taking their dogs away.
Yeah, we're more worried about the meal than the person who needs that meal desperately because they're malnourished. So I guess call BS on ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit story number 3. This one comes from the Mirror UK. Aldi shopper says Jesus appeared on potato, and even her unusually skeptical husband agrees. My mom. Now we're gonna throw up this picture that clearly looks like Jesus. There's 2 pictures here. A mom's convinced that the image of Jesus appeared to her on the supermarket potato, so she took a photo before promptly eating it. You think you'd want to save it? Maybe set up a booth so people can pay some cash to come see it?
Yeah, that's the best quote from the whole article is just, I've eaten it now. That's the only quote from the article. It kills me. If that was really Jesus, you would not have eaten that potato.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right? You would have gotten some money on that. Unless you thought you ate it and the Holy Spirit would have filled you up like the New Guinea tribe we talked about last week, eating the Christian missionaries.
Yeah, and Michael Rockefeller, So he imbued his. Well, yeah, they ate him. They ate they ate Christ. I don't know what they did there. So, but yeah, I mean, Jesus on a potato skin. That this could give you life-saving something.
Oh man. It reminds me of the episode. I don't know if you watch It's Always Sunny, but it reminds me of the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the gang found the water stain in the bathroom of their bar. That was the water stain of the Virgin Mary, and they started selling money to people to come and pay money to look at it.
That's exactly what I had in mind. It says the woman here, a 44-year-old from Dundee, immediately called her husband over to confirm her find, and even though he's, quote, usually really skeptical about these sort of things, unquote, he couldn't deny the resemblance. And there we go. So I was staring at it. It was quite obvious it was Jesus' face. It was just looking at me. I mean, I've seen stories before about people finding Jesus in their food, but I never can actually see it. This one was obviously him. And then he got excited. And then she quickly ate the potato.
Yeah, I don't see it. I maybe I need to start looking at my produce more because, like, I would not have seen that.
Now,
what I mean? Like, if she would have took a pen and drew on the potato and like outlined it, maybe you could see some kind of resemblance. I don't know, but just looking at that picture, I can't see it. I don't.
No, I don't. I mean, I could say it's a face. Maybe it's just a man. Why does it have to be Jesus?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I guess maybe Jesus was the most powerful man ever. So they think he would be the only one to have powers of getting his face onto a piece of produce. I don't know.
Well, why would they do that? I mean, or why would God or Jesus or any deity, any powerful creature stamp their face on food?
Maybe just to fuck with people.
Well, what is the method here?
Maybe Jesus is up there just like, I'm going to mess with these people and put my face on like just some random piece of produce. Maybe that's the test. Maybe that's like the test to get into heaven. Maybe like his face is stamped into every piece of produce, and like the people that notice it are the ones that are actually truly in touch with God. Maybe.
Oh well, I guess you and I have got a long way to go.
I've never. I know. I'm going to start inspecting my produce more.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
Why? Well, here's another question. Why is this a news story?
Yeah. Right. Are people so famous for attention? That are so addicted to getting famous. So desperate for attention, right?
Yeah,
I think that's where the BS is for me.
Yeah, I agree. This is absolute. This is just attention seeking, and of course, amplified by the media. I find all of this. I don't want to. We've already probably offended people, but I'm just going to say plainly that all of it is fake. It's not. None of it is real. There is no Virgin Mary. There is no Jesus. There is no God that will have their actual somehow likeness put on by the Holy Spirit on some object. I think all claims of that are BS. What do you make of that? Not ready to go there? Yeah.
Well, hey, look, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't think, I don't see what the point of Jesus putting his face on a potato, right? I think people are reaching.
I mean, could it be boredom? I'm just out there in heaven. Maybe I just screw with people.
That's what I think. Maybe God's just up there messing with people, right?
See, I don't. It doesn't seem likely to me.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that God has a lot more shit to worry about than putting Jesus's face on a potato.
Absolute nonsense. Absolute BS. Leave it alone. I mean, this is just, I guess, I mean, I can see a face, what if he's seeing like in a cloud? The cloud would be more reasonable than a potato. I don't know. It's absolute BS. Do you want me to give a rating?
Yeah.
All right. So Jesus potato. I mean, it's BS, but it's almost too stupid to get mad about. So I'm gonna give it a. This is kind of lower BS, even though I think it's nonsense. So I'm gonna go 4, just to
3.
just to mess with it. What you got?
I'll go 3.
Oh, you got 3. Okay, I didn't hear.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 7. So that one's definitely good. Well, I wouldn't say definitely, but that one's looking like a 5th placer. And so currently in the lead is face mask mandate, followed by Kim Jong-Un dogs and the Jesus potato.
Jesus Spud.
Okay, let's hit story number 4, Zach. The issue of pop-up or underground gyms that have been popping up around the country, because most places, and I think even where I am still, I'm sure probably where you are, most places around the country, that gyms are closed.
Yeah.
You can't go work out if you want to because of social distancing.
In Maryland, they started to open. In Maryland. And at one point, they said originally it was you have to wear your mask everywhere but when you're actually on a machine working out, right? So you have to wear it walking between machines. And then some gyms changed it and they said, okay, now you need to wear a mask the entire time.
Yeah.
How am I going to work out? I think what started to happen was people were like, I'm not wearing a mask while I'm running on a fucking treadmill. Right. That sounds miserable. So then people probably stopped coming and canceling their memberships, and now gyms are closing up again because.
What's a worse health hazard?
Obesity
while running, or getting COVID in the gym.
Yeah. So we got a balance between like obesity, people not going to working on going to the gym, catching COVID in the gym, or like you said, suffocating to death while in the gym. Right? We got to pick one of those 3 things.
Great. This story from I'm not going to read the whole thing here. This comes from NPR Planet Money. The title of the story is "Secret Gyms and the Economics of Prohibition," and it tells the story of how this woman Evelyn uncovered what can only be described as a speakeasy gym. Illegal hush hush like the underground bars are in the Prohibition era. These underground gyms are popping up everywhere from LA to New Jersey. It says, quote, there's a quote here from someone on Reddit saying, anybody, so basically people are organizing basically pop-up gyms, speakeasy gyms, for people to go do this underground, which is interesting to me because it does go to show, and maybe this might even tie back a little bit to Kim Jong-Un, which is prohibition, the extent to which people do things that you can't quite. People want to go work out, and you can't really stop it. People are going to find a way. This is almost like with drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that the two are the same, but this idea of prohibition and the difficulty of it in the era of COVID, Zach.
Yeah, I think going to the gym is a lot better than doing heroin, but I think the bullshit lies in gyms even being closed because you can easily. I think you could easily social distance in a gym. You could close every other machine. Right. So that way there's at least probably 10 feet in between, because machines are already probably like 5 feet apart. Right. Close every other machine, right? Close the free weight section. So anywhere people are in close quarters, maybe you could put like a hand sanitizer station on each machine. You know what I mean? There's ways you can definitely do it. So it's like, it's just with everything else in the country, adhere to the rules and don't be an asshole. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Like in that same article, they talked to another girl, Christina. And she said, Christina's a paralegal. She went to her gym, which remained open against orders. She said she went in and there was double the amount of people in there as it normally is when they're open. She says, and they're grunting and using all of the equipment, taking selfies in the mirror, flexing their triceps. It's bizarre. None of them were social distancing, wearing masks, or even sanitizing the equipment. You know what I mean? So it's like that kind of shit is going to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, that is typical gym bros. Well, you know, she seemed to be intimidated and then not happy with their behavior because the people. Yeah, I mean, I think there was a story. I don't know, maybe it was New Jersey, a gym owner who refused to shut down. I believe he was arrested, basically, and I think maybe arrested multiple times because he refused to close down his gym and kept it open. And I agree with you. I think there is a way. There is a way to do this responsibly because what you end up with is, well, of course, there's cases like this where they don't follow any rules, but you end up with these pop-up speakeasy gyms where chances are no one's wearing a mask. You know, they're not, no distancing or anything like that. The best chance is to do things maybe like what you suggested with distancing, maybe limited capacity, and maybe having someone there, like a dedicated person to clean things down when someone moves. This could definitely be handled. And I think you end up with something worse. Which is, I think, what often sometimes happen with prohibiting things is people getting around it and then not, making it more of a danger than what the whole point of shutting these things down is.
Yeah, I agree.
It says here, one of the unintended consequences of prohibition are higher prices with less competition and higher risks in black markets. The black market of gyms.
Yeah, everyone with a shed is going to start a gym soon.
You're going to be like, waiting for the bus on a street corner, and someone's going to come up with you like, "Hey, man, you want to work out?
We got a weight bench in the alley behind the corner. $5.
I got free weights.
Yeah,
I got a Nautilus." And so, yeah, I mean, so it has only been 6 hours. I don't work out. I'm one of the laziest people you'll ever meet. I don't think I've ever set foot in a gym. So this hasn't bothered me one bit. Do you like to do any working out or exercise?
Yeah. So me and my wife actually sold our gym membership or canceled it before the beginning in like January because we got a Peloton. I was one of the assholes that bought my wife a Peloton for Christmas, but that's what she wanted. So, that's like, it's okay.
Did you do a reaction video?
I should have. I did not, but I should have. So yeah, my wife uses the Peloton more than me. I use it a couple times a week.
What do you think of that thing? I mean, Peloton was, or at least was, I haven't seen much, but it was heavily advertised there for quite a while. Is it, what's the experience like?
I wonder if they're not advertising because they can't fulfill orders.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can now. I shouldn't say that. I don't know that for sure, but it seems I can remember hearing about stories about people ordering one when like the pandemic happened and gyms closed and like taking months and months and months, to get it, where I ordered mine and I got it in like 2 weeks, but this was in early January. So,
well, I would imagine the demand has been increasing.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. It's nice, Do
you get someone like screaming at you and all that? Or
you're in a full class and some of these instructors are hilarious. Man, right. I always go on this guy, Cody Rigsby, and his class is so funny and entertaining.
Are they like live or?
Yeah, they're live. So they do them live. And then if you don't do a live one, you can do a live one, but everything's like everything that's live gets recorded. So you can go back and do it.
Gotcha.
Later.
What about like landscapes and that experience? Is that
they got that too?
Is it cool?
They got like scenic rides, is what they call it. So you can just sit there and pedal you can pedal as hard or as little as you want, and it's just a screen of you driving through the Swiss Alps or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, see that to me that's interesting. I don't know how is it immersive at all or.
It's not really immersive. I don't know how they would do this technologically, but like I would like to see it where if like you're pedaling, the video stops. If you start pedaling, the video starts moving again. I would like to see it like that. It's not. You can just be sitting there still, and the video is still going. Right.
Oh, so
it's literally like they put a camera on a bike and just rode, and then you're just watching what the video is.
I see. So not only is it not immersive, it's not even interactive.
No, it's just a video of a scenic ride, and you're pedaling to it. That's it.
But it is intriguing because I think in the future, I think that's where we're going to be. We'll be in a room like the holodeck or something from Star Trek, in a virtual reality room. I mean, that might get me off my ass and exercise if you can, if you can do like a ride in the Alps, like you said, or whatever. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it was all right. I like doing the classes better. I like having the instructor, just like you said, sitting there yelling at you. It kind of it brings back like memories of like football practice growing up and like things like that.
That's hilarious. So I didn't have any more on that, but this was an interesting story. Black market of of working out. That was interesting. One of many things we didn't expect to find during this pandemic. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going 5.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm gonna give it a 7. Just because it's just so weird. So
yeah.
That brings us to 12. So that one's in third place. 7 plus 5 is 12. And so let's move on to not only do you have to be able to run a show, you have to do simple arithmetic to do this.
Yeah.
Not everyone is capable. All right, let's close this show out with our final story. This one comes from Vice. COVID-19 lockdowns have led to a huge spike in sex doll sales, Zach. Some sex doll companies have doubled sales since coronavirus lockdowns came into effect, with many dolls going to married couples. We've got a nice picture here. It's not there's no nudity here, but maybe we should throw up a couple of these pictures of what these things look like. And here we go. It says, in many ways, the advent of the global pandemic has been a stroke of luck for the sex doll industry. With most of the world under strict government instruction to self-isolate in the privacy of one's own home, consumer interest in hyper-realistic silicone-based sexual partners is at an all-time high. And it's not just lonely singles who are contributing to the boom in business. Zach, it's not said here in the article, but whether or not you have to wear a face mask when you're with the sex doll, if the sex doll comes with a face mask, and what proper etiquette is.
Well, I would hope it does come with a face mask, Dave.
the face mask, Saint mask or God mask, or See, maybe. All right, let's go back a sec. So maybe instead of Jesus in a toast, you'll get like the face mask in a toast, and that's what we'll be in 20 years. So, anyways,
this whole article is low level BS. Like, I mean, what you do in your own bedroom is none of my business, but I do have some questions because there's so much shit in this article that is just crazy. Like, you kind of mentioned it before, but there was that one quote that was like, in this new trend, we've got a husband buying a female doll alongside his wife for him, a husband and wife buying dolls together, one for each other, and also a general increase in women buying male dolls for themselves.
See, I'm not buying this.
So, like, at what point, like, where do you draw the line for, like, cheating on your spouse? You know what I mean? Just because it has a pulse doesn't automatically be cheating, because some of these things look really, really realistic. And, like, there was another point in the article that was, like, it said something about custom-made heads are becoming big. So, like, hey, honey, I don't want you. I want to go bang my custom-made woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a crush on another woman, you can literally put her head on, like, a body that you want to, like, fuck.
Yeah,
and it's like, what's next? Are like sex androids and like pleasure robots like going to be a thing in the future?
Right? Yeah, I think that's where we're headed, actually. And in fact, if you ever saw the movie, I'm sorry, Steven Spielberg, AI, artificial intelligence, I believe it was the Jude Law character who was essentially a robot gigolo. So I do think we're headed there. And, not only head, Zach, there's some requests for a doll without any genitals, a doll without a doll with a tail, and one of my personal favorites, a doll with 3 breasts.
I mean, the 3 breasts makes more sense than a doll without genitals. Like, what's the even point of having a doll without genitals? Yeah, what's the point of that, right? That's the whole reason you're buying it, so you can have sex with it.
No, I just don't really buy this article. First of all, I don't think married couples are buying these dolls. There might be a couple, but this isn't. This sort of the article. This reads more like an advertisement, than reporting.
Yeah, the whole thing does.
And I feel like this is an example of just throwing bullshit at us that we're led to believe something's happening, something led to believe that there's some real trend going on, where in fact it's just mostly just deviance. Maybe
exactly. How much of a cut did Vice get for saying to go buy a fuck doll? And no, there was one quote in the article. Let me see if I can find it. It says, online sex store Southern Treasures says, we believe that those who are single or live by themselves want a human-like construct to just be near in these times. Despite skepticism, we've found from talking directly to our own customers that our dolls do actually provide emotional comfort as well as sexual expression.
No.
So
God help us all.
Like, it's a nice sentiment, but like, I think maybe are we like getting into a culture now where it's like going to be okay for people to be content with forming a relationship with like inanimate objects? Like that used to be considered like, odd behavior, right? You shouldn't have a relationship with odd sentiment. That would be something that would be on like My Strange Addiction. I don't know if you remember that show where it's there was an episode of that show actually where there was a guy addicted that was in love and had relationships with inflatable pool toys. You know what I mean? Like he had an inflatable like floaty dragon that he was like kissing.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? All kinds of shit like that. Like maybe like as a society, we need to focus less on making like hyper realistic fuckable objects and like start focusing on like fixing a society that focuses so much on like materialism and like solely basing their relationship on sex appeal and things like that. You know what I mean?
I do 100%. Fantastic point. And,
right. It's getting weird. Like, are we like so afraid of finding true love that we'd rather spend like thousands of dollars on a fucking sex toy? You know what I mean? It's getting crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just COVID, right? It's something that's more sick.
I mean, did you ever see the movie Her?
Yeah.
Right. I understand that more than I understand having a fuckable sex doll.
Yeah, because that's something that's very smart, and it's a mental connection.
Yeah, it felt like you were actually talking to a real person,
right?
Not just like
some inanimate piece of silicone.
Yeah, that you're just like, oh hey, how you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Do you sit down, have dinner with it, and then treat it nice before you take it to the bedroom? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you need to go do. Yeah, you're gonna sit down and watch TV show with it, sitting on the couch. Oh,
do the classic move where you're like, put your arm around. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, do you talk to it? I mean, this is you need. So not only do we need to figure out something for gyms, I think we need to find a way to fund mental hospitals so we can put these people where they belong. Unbelievable. This was a great fight. I'm glad I had totally. I'm glad you found this one, Zach. This is a great one. It reminds me, actually, in the sidebar here, there's a story I think we covered before, which is a South Korean soccer team because they did the whole things without fans in the stands, where they packed the stands with sex dolls. Remember this?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of humor there. So I think maybe there is a role for them in society, at least maybe as fans, not with couples and as a legit companion. It's very, very, very weird. I don't see the appeal. I don't get it. And I don't think they're cheap either. I think they're like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they're expensive. I mean, maybe could you just get like waist down? Maybe that would be cheaper. Like, who knows?
Absolutely could be. So this is a society-wide BS problem. And also, as we mentioned earlier, I don't like the tone of the article because it reads like promotion and advertisement of very strange things, and I'm not a fan of that. We got enough bullshit in the world. We're gonna worry about sex dolls now. So I'm gonna give this thing an 8. What do you got?
8?
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna go 2.
Really? I think this is high level. Well,
you think it's high level?
I'm mad at. All right. Actually, I'm gonna knock this down to a 7. But I think this is right there with Jim's. Because I don't like Vice for writing this article, and then your little rant there kind of got me mad. So you got me pissed off at the world. Yeah. Like this whole society's about to break apart. So
this is the furthest we've been apart, I think, on a rating. Yeah, I'm going to 2.
All right, 2. That's fine. So 9. So counting down the top 5 BS items here on this episode, we've got number 5, Jesus Potato. Number 4, sex dolls. Gyms at number 3, and North Korean dogs at number 2, and number 1, face mask. The requirement of Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to require all employees to wear face masks while on Zoom calls, and then in Illinois, mandating you wear them outside, and just the cult of the face mask worshiping is just ridiculous. So as I said, when we get out of here, I'm gonna bow down to the mask.
As you should, David.
As I should. and hope one day it will appear on my piece of toast. Well, that's all we've got for today. Zach, do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here? Before that, I want to just encourage everyone to subscribe to the channel if they're not already. Also, head over to our Facebook page and become a member of our page. And, of course, head on over to informedamerican.com where you can get real smart news in your inbox. Zach, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Go to informedamerican.com. Go to realhealthynews.com. Go to wallstreetwire.com. Got all your stuff for news, finance, health, whatever. And if you own a sex doll, just comment below and tell us why you own said sex doll, what her name is or his name is, and just let us take a peek into why you do what you do.
Absolutely. If you are listening and you've got a sex doll, we would love to hear from you. In fact, I would love to interview you. Maybe we sit down and have a chat. Maybe you have the sex doll on the side. You guys could see how you interact in the world. Not in the bedroom.
Yeah. Hey, no judgment. No judgment on our part. We're just curious because I don't know anyone that owns one. So hey, why don't we see?
Yeah, I've never seen one other than in pictures, and I would maybe we're off base here, and maybe you're ahead of the time. So I'd love to hear from you.
I would love to do it, see it be a 2-part interview where he or she is sitting here, and the sex doll is right next to him. It's part of the interview, right? So
absolutely.
Get him or her on too. We'll send him a microphone.
We'll mic you up. If you're a couple, we'd be even more interested in how that works out. Wow, I'd love to know. So that's all we've got for this show. Thank you all for watching so much. For Zach, I am Dave, and I've had enough of this BS.
You've been listening to the BS Podcast with Dave and Zach, part of the Informed American Radio Network. Please like and subscribe today in order to get fresh new weekly episodes. Please send us your BS stories to info@informedamerican.com. The world is hard enough, and now we gotta deal with this bullshit.